tell our listeners what they can expect if they, what's going to happen on campus tomorrow.
So there's going to be a demonstration called Smoke Our Investments that's going to be taking place outside the USF library at 3 p.m. on Wednesday the 24th. It's basically what we're looking to do is to have a group of students who are smoking cigarettes, hookah pens, vape pens, stuff like that outside USF. That is kind of a slap in the face towards the school's new smoke-free campus policy. But of course the reason we're doing it is because we found out that the USF Foundation actually invests in really big tobacco companies like Philip Morris, which is the largest producer of cigarettes in the world. And we just think it's incredibly hypocritical that there's this ethically, socially enforced smoke-free campus policy, and yet in my name and the names of 46,000 students, we're spending money and giving money to cigarette companies.
I've asked the administration before about investments and whether students can influence the investments, and their reply every time has been, we're not going to listen to anyone. No one's going to tell us how we can invest this money. But so your protest is part of a bigger issue when it comes to investments also in the Israeli-occupied territories in Palestine.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult with the terms. BDS, Boycott, Divestment, Sanction, is a movement that's specifically targeted towards ending the Israeli occupation of Palestine through obviously boycotting, divesting from, and then sanctioning the companies that interact with that occupation in some way. But really it's even kind of a larger thing. A lot of universities across the United States have adopted a socially responsible investment policy, or an SRI. And basically what that means is that the endowment of that university, such as Harvard, Princeton, UCLA, these schools are very conscious about where they're getting their endowment money from. They're very public about the kind of companies they invest in. And through an SRI, you're able to both question the divestment issues that are going on in Palestine and Israel, but you're also able to question, investing into fossil fuel companies, into companies that destroy trees en masse, into companies that promote human rights violations. It's a very broad movement, and it's not entirely about boycott, divestment, sanction of Palestinian, human rights abusers, but it definitely, that conversation's been dominating the rhetoric at USF for the past couple of months now, and hopefully this will keep it relevant. So.
And the student government passed a proposal. It passed something, but that was vetoed. But then something else got passed.
So what happened was there was a non-binding student government resolution that came out of the Senate, voted majority rule. It required the student body president, Andy Rodriguez's signature, and he did not give that signature, so it was effectively pocket vetoed that way. We went ahead and drafted a second resolution that didn't require a signature. The wording was the exact same. And even though that passed through the Senate, our Supreme Court ruled that unconstitutional because they said it was an overstretch of our powers to be meddling with international affairs, which is just a really frustrating response to a resolution that was focused on setting up a committee of students, faculty, and staff at the University of South Florida that actually have some sort of knowledge and some sort of say over the ethical nature of our investments. It was almost like an admission of guilt to say it's unconstitutional because we don't want to have an ethical investment policy. It's implying that what is constitutional is to have an unethical investment policy, and that definitely seems to be the status quo at USF for the past few months at least.
Those are my questions. Is there anything else that our listeners should know?
We'd really love to see as many people out for the Smoke Our Investments demonstration tomorrow. But more than that, I really want students to know that as a non-Muslim, non-Palestinian, non-Arab student, I really believe that this is more than just a Muslim versus non-Muslim issue or an anti-Semitic issue. I hate being labeled with that word, and I know that my Muslim friends hate being labeled with that word because it isn't about hate. It isn't about some sort of getting just desserts or anything like that. It's about doing the right thing and making sure that we can sleep soundly at night. So,
great. Thanks for your time.